Hello everybody, my name is Tasman and welcome to another NZ Wild adventure. It's quite remarkable. Keep him for dinner too. Very nice. Lovely blue water too. Fill you with confidence. I think somebody's gonna miss me. Still waiting. Nice. Don't try this at home. 3 species cook up. So you can see the entrance of Nancy Sound behind me, and in this episode I'm going to be heading around to Caswell Sound and explore it, and then head on to George Sound. And the boat's still there, which is always nice. But I just spent the night camped on this very small island, and it's looking like pretty good conditions, maybe a 15 knot southerly, judging by the clouds. But it's 10 k's out there and then probably 15 that way. It was a very comfortable little campsite on lots of moss. Did rain last night. There's a couple of tiny dead fish. They're very attractive little fish. Look at the spots on his belly. It's quite remarkable. Cool coloration on the top too. Last week in the previous episode I drove the boat down from Milford Sound to Child Sound, and then I explored it and Nancy Sound, which we are now. Sounds like rain. Disgusting. Release the sandflies. Unfortunately. Nice, that'll bounce back nicely. Load it up. Looks a little wet up there. That's Charles Sound just there, and Caswell's just around the corner. Just making up a new trace because the blue cod were quite hard on it last time. Right, just see if I can catch something for dinner on the outer coast. It didn't take long. Oh yeah, oh, blue cod by the gills. Just a crack fish. Might as well keep him because he probably won't go back down. It's about 50 metres deep here. Just try a bait real quick. That's good fish. Heavy dinner. Nice. Caswell Sound and it's Styles Island right there. It was a pretty smooth trip into Caswell Sound. It is a bit showery though. There's Caswell Hut at the end of the sound, apparently it's a historic one, so I might go all the way into the end and check it out. Let's drop the line down to about 100 metres. Caught something fairly large. Oh, it's a fat tarakihi. Might as well keep him for dinner too. Awesome, 2 lovely fish. The tarakihi is really quite dark, it's got some lovely greens on it. A little ping wing coming in. Well, like 200 metres judging by how much line we got. A long way to wind this thing. Very pretty. Just try to sink him, make it down a bit. Right, smaller taraki. It's got some very pretty blues on it. Since there seems to be a few fish down there, I'll send the super deep water and go for a housing down. It's a big fat blue cod. The lights are almost off, unfortunately, but the GoPro's still going. You swap out the battery. Alright, it's enough mucking around. Hopefully there's a bit of interesting footage on there anyway. Oh well, it's looking like a beautiful day. The rain seems to be clearing up even though the wind's coming up a little. Had a very quick look at the footage and I think I've got some pretty cool stuff, so pretty exciting. I'll have a good look tonight. I'm going to walk up Veer one fine day. That one's Mount Tanulba. There's so many swans out here. There it is. Caswell Hut. Securely tied-ish. Just go check out this hut. Anyone home? Oh, stag head. Very nice. Dark. Yeah, not dry. Just write my name in the hut book. Latest entry was 2nd of August, 4 months ago. A little bit musty for my liking, so I don't think I'll stay here. There's Stillwater River. Time for a bit of a cook up. Going to move over here to back up for the night. I just put the line down just to see how deep it was before anchoring and caught a fish. It's a very large blue cod, but I have enough fish. I lost my pocket knife a couple of months ago, so haven't had a can opener since then. See if we can do it with a fork. First paprika and mixtapes for the trip. It certainly doesn't fill me with confidence. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. Nice. The wind's really dropping back, but it's still a bit wavy, so I think the current from the river is pushing the boat out a little bit while the wind's blowing very gently that way, so we're sort of floating side onto the wind. So hopefully the waves die back a little bit, because any side to side motion like this in the hammock is very uncomfortable. Since the wind's dropping off, the sandflies are coming out. Yum. I think the taraki is slightly overdone, but the blue cod's really good. Now this thing is literally a curtain that I bought from the warehouse for $15. But distance is no impediment to these sandflies. The curtain's not perfect, but it works decently. Like, they can still crawl in from the side because it's not very wide, but it seems to keep the majority out. Just finished dinner off. Just cook up the rest of the fish for breakfast tomorrow. Watch as I throw this bone in the water. Fair bit of current going past. And then when it reaches about half a metre down, just go full straight down. No current down there. Quite a nice morning. A little breeze coming up offshore. but it looks like clear skies, so I think we head up Mount Alexander today. Just take the boat around the corner, park it up. And it's a bizarrely early morning start of 6:45. Nice. I think there's a stern line here, so maybe I can tie up to it. May as well take the rifle up. Right, not taking the journals today. So that should sit there quite happily. The rope didn't quite reach, so I used a little bit of string to tie it on. Right, into the bushes. It's now 8 o'clock after parking the boat up and getting ready. So it's about 1,000 metres to the top, so over about 2 kilometres, so it's going to be fairly steep, but there's a bit of a rock passage like halfway up, so hopefully it wouldn't be too bad. Maybe about 4 hours to the tops. Nice big river. Could have parked in here. I didn't really bring a real backpack on this trip, so it's just a day pack today. And I just do a day trip into the tops and then come back hopefully before dark. Very pretty. Alrighty, up the hill. That's a pretty fresh Rimu windfall. Yeah, this must have only been a few days ago. Fairly big tree, must have been quite the storm. Maybe it's from that nor'easter that I was sheltering from like a week ago. Good 60 centimetres in diameter. Wow, it would have been scary when it came down. Some bits are quite thick and then some bits are quite open like this, which is quite nice. I do have an out of season Wapiti hunting permit, just in case you're wondering. So I can hunt the Wapiti blocks up until the 31st of December. And then they close the Wapiti blocks until the ballots in March. It's not too steep, but it would definitely be good to come back down during the daytime. I've got 2 main objectives on this little walk up the hill. When I gain a bit of altitude so I can have a good view, and then hopefully find a deer to get a bit of footage. And the rifle is basically just for show. But if I do find a red deer fawn, then it's possible that I'll take it, because that's the only animal that's sort of small enough to keep, because it's around the start of summer and it's just way too hot to keep a full animal. I guess a chamois kid could also be about the right size for me, so I'll keep an eye out for those. Now it starts to get really steep. There's a cliff there, so let's get to the right and then up. Bit of a steep one, but we're 200 metres elevation. That is some very fresh deer poo. There's a few game trail type things, so I'll see if I can follow one up. Cool clouds pouring over that hill there. Not too steep so far. There's a little stream coming down off the slog. It's quite cool. Oh, seems to be flattening off a bit. And the trees are definitely getting smaller as well. Should break out of the trees very soon. Nice. This is the feature that I was aiming for. About 500 metres elevation. So fingers crossed travel should be quite a lot faster along here. Got an awesome view already. It took 2.5 hours to get to here over a little bit less than 2 kilometres and 500 metres elevation, so fairly slow going, but it is Fiordland. That's another 700 metres of elevation up there. Those tops look awesome. And I can see my trusty steed down there. No shortage of footprints, so it's looking pretty promising to see an animal. Looking very doable. Lovely little town. The going's generally pretty good, but then there's occasionally a few like chasms that you need to go down like 10 metres and then back up the other side. First poop up here in the rocklands. There's quite a lot of this shrubby manuka. Awesome rock formations there. I think it's limestone. Now there's a small band of forest to get through to get to the proper tops. I can't believe how perfect the day is. It's just so nice. It's not even too windy and it's not too hot. It's just perfect. Lots of these little bugs. I was worried there were mosquitoes for a bit, but they don't seem to be. Got Lake Shirley over there above Shirley Falls. Made it to the tree line by 12 o'clock, so 4 hours, so pretty happy with that. It was hard going, but it's only another 300 metres elevation to the top of the mountain, so we'll head up there and glass on the way. Ah, lovely town. I'll just go grab a drink of water, because I didn't bring a water bottle with me because I knew that there was lots of towns around. Bit of chocolate to keep me going up this last little steep bit. There's the end of Caswell Sound with the hut there, and it's a nice view of Lake Marchant. Pretty easy going up here, but it's still bloody steep. And a beautiful view though. I've done it. I've spotted a deer. I think it's mostly Wapiti because it seems to be quite pale. But I'll get the big camera on it. There's actually quite a lot of sandflies up here at 1200 metres, which is unusual because they normally just stop at about 1000 metres. So I dare say that's quite rude. But awesome to see some animals. I think they're 3 cows / hinds. They look kind of pale, but I don't really know the difference between reds and Wapiti. They definitely do look slightly uneasy, but they're just over there, so I might head up to this peak and have a good glass. There should be some towns and stuff down there. I'm pretty sure I've only ever seen one Wapiti, and that was about 5 years ago, so it's pretty cool to see some. But there's a bit of wind pumping down in the fjord. I think they might have spotted me, which isn't surprising because we're only about 400 metres away. That more red coloured deer from earlier has popped out just there. But that's Mount Alexander, so I might head over there. 40 metres down and 80 metres up. Nice. Got a couple of deer down here, probably about 100 metres. Bingo! That's awesome. He's not worried, but his hind certainly is. So cool to see it in there, probably only about 100 metres away and not too worried at all. Definitely suspicious, but not very. And just up there, there's just the head of the deer from earlier. So suspicious. That was epic. Both objectives achieved. Now I just got to wander alongside Mount Alexander and not get too sunburned. There's a lucky little pink. Got some deer here. For some reason. A few tufts. Not far now. The wind's dropping back and it's getting hot. Deer on the skyline. It's awesome. Running up towards Mount Alexander. It's so cool. He's got a bit of spread to him. Nice and even. I don't know if he's got his maze though. Oh, that was so cool. 2 really nice even stags, maybe 1 bull. He did run off, but he didn't look too spooked, so it's possible I get another chance at some footage. But I'm so stoked. This little jaunt up to the tops has been so worth it. Well, there he is on the skyline. It's a very nice looking animal. And judging by the coronets, I think he's quite young. But I first saw him just up there on the skyline and he ran all the way down this ridge, down here, and then now he's there over the last like 20 minutes. Epic. Oh, here we are at Mount Alexander, 1280 metres. Did 6 kilometres and it took 7.5 hours. But to be fair, along the tops I was glassing and looking for animals, seeing quite a few as well. We are 40 metres higher than Mount Tanilwa, which is just over there. But pretty incredible view. Definitely glass those flats. Down there is Two-Thumbed Bay. We can't quite see it, but I'll check it out tomorrow or the day after. It's remarkable just how little wind there is up here. It's almost windless. I'm glad it's not, because otherwise it'd be stinking hot. But it's now 4:15, so I think I'll slowly start heading back. And there's still so many sandflies for the tops. It's ridiculous. Doesn't get much better than this. Super lucky with the weather. First water in ages. There's a dead wetter in it. Wonder what happened there. It's a one-antlered deer, probably like a cull stag or something. If it was a cast antler I'd be thrilled, but it's not quite the same, is it? Perhaps unsurprisingly there's nothing very obvious in the ridgeline that I came up. Oh, that's better. I brought some honey roasted and salted cashews, which I'm very glad for because I'm pretty sure I really need the salt. Oh, so good to be in a bit of shade for once. These are cute little bubbles of moss. It would be pretty cool to check out this clearing as it got dark. But it is going to be way safer to get down to the bottom before it gets dark. Just take a drink from this tiny last water in a while. Wonder what he's eating. That's where the boat should be. And it's floating there very happily, thank goodness. It's a nice little sheltered cove, that. Nice, made it back to where I came out of the bushes by 7 o'clock. Won't be needing the camera or the binos anymore, and I'll just take the bipod off. Should have done this for the way up, but I forgot. Just try to squeeze the suppressor in as well, that'd be handy. Much more and better. While I do have enough stuff to spend the night out here, it'll be rather uncomfortable and cold, so much prefer to get back to the boat. Right, and here we have cliff number 2. After that it should be pretty easy. Right, this is where we went up, so surely we can go back down. Wonderful. It's a nice big pool that I didn't see on the way up. If I wasn't such a wuss, I'd go for a dip. It's the river mouth. Nice! What a great walk. It was awesome. Made it back by 9 o'clock, so exactly 13 hours on the feet. It's a pretty big day. I don't feel too pooped at the moment, but probably by tomorrow I'll be feeling pretty tired. And the fjord has calmed down a lot, so I think I might take the boat a little closer to the entrance of the sound. What a nice bay. Little Fiordland crested penguin with a log. I think this one's called Boat Rock. Not bad. I think it might be just out of the water at high tide. The beach. Lovely evening. Yeah, it was a very comfortable night. It was completely calm, so there was no waves at all. It was like 5 knots-ish is coming up. So there's lots of sandflies, so I might head offshore, then pack up, and then slowly head round to George Sound. I was bold and I didn't put the fly on last night, and there wasn't even that much condensation, luckily. Small anchorage. The water seems to be clearing up nicely. Just gonna pick up my fuel cache in Styles Island. I cached some jerry cans in here last week. Sorry mate. Nice. Right where I left you. 2 fulls and an empty. There's a bit of a surge in here, but it's pretty calm really. I'll head out of the sound and check out Two Thumb and Looking Glass Bay now. But some of these are loaded, so I may as well have a feed. Too many sandflies here. Look at them all. Ridiculous. A wee bit choppy on the nose, and there's a bit of wind coming around the corner. I'll just take it slowly and hopefully it doesn't get too wet. Come on. Two Thumb Bay. It's actually really nice in here. Quite calm. The swells really stop at the entrance there. And the wind's quite a lot worse than I was hoping, and it is hoping because I didn't bring a weather forecasting device, but it's sort of like 20 knots on the nose, so it's just a bit wet, so kind of slow. Not particularly deep. Figured it'd be a shame not to have a look around. Go for a little beach comb. It's remarkable how calm it is in here. Lovely blue water too. A little swamp. Very nice bay. Lots of onga onga. I was up there yesterday. Looking Glass Bay. There's bugger all swell in here. It's a bit windy. Just go explore the Looking Glass beach a little bit. Yeah, maybe only a 30 centimetre swell arriving on the beach. Pretty fresh deer prints. I was sort of umming and ahhing whether I should stay here in Looking Glass Bay tonight or not, because if the wind came up and I got stuck here it'd be annoying rather than be in George Sound, which is more explorable. So I sent my sister a Starlink text and she gave me the weather forecast for the next couple of days, and while it is going to get really windy tonight, about 50 knots gusting northeasterly, it should drop off by tomorrow afternoon, which will give me the chance to head up to George Sound. Very nice valley there. Humongous pile of poop. Very easy to walk riverbed, not much water in it at the moment. Got pretty tight bush. Yeah, there's a fishing boat. Best vessel I've seen in a little while. Not too much trash, which is nice. I'm getting hounded down the beach. I don't know if you can see that behind me, but they're particularly hungry here. Almost at high tide now. Penguin came to say hello. Oh, it's so cute. Tiny whirly whale. Very cool cave. Quite cool in here too. And there's a creek. Just see if I can catch a fish because I can't really be bothered getting in the water. Just with the manky bait from yesterday. It's a much bigger fish. Caught the bait on the way down too. That's a kahawai. I mean, I caught it all the way down. 10-inch live bait. But, oops. I love kahawai, so this is dinner. Nice. Just swap for the jig, which is in casting. Found a little barracuda. Oh yeah, fish on. But oh, I got off. Oh, there's quite a lot of kahawai here. Wouldn't mind catching another. Wow, look at that. Yep. Pretty big kahawai. Nice! Fat kahawai! Wow, look at all those wet baity type small fish. It's quite interesting because the main wind is going that way, northeaster, quite strongly, and then in the bay it's going the opposite way, predominantly. Some very interesting cloud action up there. I'm just trying to decide whether or not to stay on the boat. It would be more comfortable on land, but I feel like I'll be worried about the boat all night. Besides, the sandflies on the land. But I'm super stoked with these two kahawai. What a treat. I think maybe I will spend the night on shore. Might look a little funny, but this is my bollard, main bowline, and the ends are just tied on as well for extra security. Sure, we're right. But it's pretty decently sheltered in here, at least against the waves, so I'll just find somewhere on the foreshore to set the tent up. I reckon here should be decent enough. It's not particularly flat at all, but it is nice and sheltered. And I can see the boat from here. Got the tent set up on the rocks. It's not really windy enough to keep the sandflies away, so I might cook the kahawai up in the tent. Kahawai is my favourite fish. Yep. Wee bit stormy this morning. Wee bit rough out there too. But the boat's still there. It's nice. Well, it's not looking great. There's some white water coming into the bay, but at least they can stop pulling, and hopefully the wind dies back later this afternoon, like forecast. Wind must have switched a bit. The wind's really coming into the bay now. And then what a difference a couple of minutes makes. Completely switched to more similar to last night. And I'm so glad that I wasn't sleeping on the boat. It looks rather wet. Looks like the boat's just about to sink. Better go save it. One very flat pontoon. I did need to go empty the water out of it anyway. Didn't realise I'd be under such circumstances. And it has pulled the anchor a bit. Yes, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? I think maybe the gas tank was probably pressing on the valve. Nice, much more better. Now they've just got to go empty this water. Ah, nice. Crisis averted. And it's not looking too bad out there, so I might have some breakfast and then head out around the corner. I think somebody's gonna miss me. Full boat, that is the biggest storm that has weathered at anchor before. And hopefully it's not too bad going around the corner. I can tell the wind's dropping off by the amount of sandflies accumulating outside the door. Not very nice. But the swell's starting to come into the bay a little, so it's probably time to head off. Yeah, not looking too bad. And for those of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting sandflies, they're a biting insect and they hurt a lot. Bugger. Nice. very graceful. Well, since it's probably going to be real wet, I'm just going to chuck the wetsuit on and hopefully go for a dive somewhere along the way if the swell's not too strong. Alright, ready to get wet. And it looks like I made the right choice with the wetsuit. It's raining quite a lot. Nice clear water, but it was a little dark under there because there was a bit of fresh water on the surface from the rain over the last little while. Loading the spear gun, I immediately spotted a couple of butterfish only about a metre down, so I did a very shallow dive. Stretched out and pulled off a perfect shot on this nice big butterfish. It's flat! Very nice butterfish. I just chucked it straight into the boat to avoid attracting any shark friends. So I turned around and it wasn't long at all before I spotted my first crays, only in about 2 metres of water. They were all quite small though. Pretty easy grab, and this one's a small male, just a little bit over legal. This one's definitely under. Another good clean grab on this one, but this female's just a little bit small, so straight back she goes. It was starting to get a little bit windy and wavy in the bay, and the anchor started dragging, so I just grabbed it and repositioned it in a better spot. Next little boulder and a quick grab, and that's my second cray for the day. Also not huge, just a little bit over legal. Definitely not a huge amount of crays in this one spot. Oh, well, it certainly wasn't packed with crays, and they were quite small, but I managed to get two. Well, I'm stoked with this butterfish, and it's pooping everywhere. It was right, probably took an hour and a half or something. It was a bit bumpy on the nose. Quite a few waves came over the bow. But I'll just jump in here quickly to see if I can find another crayfish, maybe a slightly larger one, and then I head further into the sound. So I hopped in the next spot, and the water's way brighter because there's no freshwater layer on the surface because I'm right at the entrance of the sound. Just popped down to the first hole, and there's a nice big buck right there at the front, just in about 2 metres of water. Nice. I definitely didn't need more fish, but I had the loaded spear gun with me just in case. An even better size buck here, and it's also a pretty easy grab. Nice! It was slightly confusing how friendly this one butterfish was. He was not at all wary until I gave him a little poke. One last nice buck, and it's 5 k's for the day. Enough for a feed in, because the sun wasn't out, I didn't spend too much time in the water. I'm still not loaded with crayfish, but I did find a couple of nice big bucks. I just put the smallest ones back. Very nice size. It's still pretty windy halfway down the sound, so I think I might go all the way into George Sound Hut. Anyone home? Alice Falls. They're awesome. I didn't realise they'd be so cool. It was actually quite rough on the way in, so hopefully the boat's alright. Just parked out there for the night. Well, the hut's nice, but it's not particularly sandfly proof. So I think I might just set the tent up over there. Nice, at least the tent's actually sandfly proof. They're really trying to get in. Not my finest work, but clean enough. Almost enough for another catching pack. Ridiculous. Bummer. Dinner at 10. After kahawai and bumoki, I think butterfish is probably my next favourite fish. So many lice. Quite big ones too. And these rocks are really slippery. Jeez, it's windy this morning. But it's still there, sitting there very happily though. Very windy. I'm so glad I'm not still around in Looking Glass Bay. It was fun. Would have been very exposed. There's a lot of white water coming into the bay. Forgot about the tent. She could probably go put that away. Disgusting winds. Look at it. We have lift off, but it seems totally fine. Thank goodness. I will put it away. I honestly thought it'd be more sheltered in here, but I don't really know why now. Wow! That's a good anchoring system. Hasn't moved an inch. I'm not going anywhere until that storm disappears, at least not on the water anywhere. It's still quite horrible at noon. Just got some leftovers. Disgusting! It looks like the majority of the storm has broken at least. Still raining a lot, but I'll just do these crayfish. Still nice and plumped up this time. I'll just do a couple of crayfish tails now and then I'll do the rest outside when it's dark, away from the sun place. Yum, nothing better than pan-fried crayfish and butter. It's 8 o'clock and it's still quite nasty. Still like 30 knots out there probably. Made a terrible pancake. I'll just cook up the rest of the crayfish outside. And the wind's come up again, it's more like 40 knots, a bit like last night. Just to the legs now. So glad to have this hut to hide in. Does look good? So much rain. It's good with the garlic. And it is so windy outside. Hopefully the boats are out for another night. It's 3:30, it's still stormy. But I can't see the boat, but I don't know if it's because there's too much rain or not. Or if it's not there anymore. Oh good, flat battery in the torch. And it is still there. It looks like the storm is finally broken. Hopefully that's it for the wind for a few days. It was pretty dusty. The boat made it through the night as well. It's very low to the water. I'm just going to wander over there and I think there might be a bit of a track up to Lake Alice. Wow, the sun's come out. First time in a few days. Well, there should be a track, but I can't seem to find it in there, so I'll just go across the slip and head up it. Nice view of the bay from here. Still no obvious track, and I don't really feel like bush bashing, so I'm not sure how much further I'll go. This forest is very wet. I can't seem to find the trail to Lake Alice, so I'm just giving up. It's way too wet in this forest. That's kind of strange because I thought I had quite an accurate route description of that trail. Right, all packed up, just give the hut a little clean. Unfortunately, the door was left open when I got here, so there was some possum poops. I'd like to head down to Southwest Island today. Nice. Right, just go empty this full boat. Goodness gracious, doesn't get much more full than that. Hopefully the rifle's not too wet. I've never had the boat this full, completely filled to the transom, but it's still floating. Fingers crossed I haven't lost anything over the side. But it's so full of water that I can just take the bung out and it'll empty because the water level's so much higher than the outside. As I empty a bit of this by hand. The Alice Falls are pumping today. I'm honestly not sure if my rifle would be better inside the dry bag or outside of it, because that's the inside of the dry bag. It's rather wet, hence all the plastic. It's the only reason why the rifles are all dry. Interesting spots on the Wapiti leaves. Finally dried out and packed up by 1:30. Yeah, just see if I can catch a fish for dinner. There was obviously something down there, probably a blue cod. Something much bigger. Oh, it's a huge blue cod. Yeah, he just got off. I broke the hook in half. Okay. I just had him on the surface just trying to decide whether I wanted to take such a fat blue cod. But then he shook his head and broke the hook in half, so he got off. Very nice beach. Just go grab some water. Be clear. That's a little spotty. Tiny blue cod. It's quite a dark one. But small. One of the last fish spit out some little bait fish. Just trying to get a bit of footage without the lights on. Tarakihi. Only little one there. Yep. Nice. Good to get to dinner. I'll just check out this beach for a potential campsite. It's a swamp, so maybe not that suitable. Check out this beach next. Old steel stand line straining this tree. The rope stand lines there. Seems like a pretty decent spot, and I do need to dry the tent out, so I might as well just stop here. Hopefully get a bit of afternoon sun. Let's chuck it up on the foreshore here. Pretty happily, hopefully it's got enough water there at low tide. And the tent has dried off quite nicely. I'll eat the parrotfish who swallowed the hook as well. Forgot to bring the better cooker with me, and I'm not going back out there, so just the other cooker tonight. Don't try this at home, but it's rather effective. Yum. It's delightful. Chips are still crispy and not too broken up either. Good with a bit of crunch. A bit of a wet morning this morning, but not particularly windy, so I think I will move on to the next spot even though it's a bit miserable. Boat's full of water again. Ridiculous. Nice and calm. Bugger, it's come up a little on the nose, about 20 knots. These would be good floundering grounds. So many swans. The Whitewater River. Fair bit of water pumping through. Nice waterfall. But got to some rapids that we can go up. Just got another weather forecast from my sister and it looks like it's going to drop back to about 15 or 20 knots this afternoon, so I might just wait for an hour or two before heading around to Bly Sound, because it looks like it's going to be quite windy tomorrow and it'd be cool to get onto the next place. Very cool flats. Deer prints. It's an interesting stuff, sort of like peat. Scum. Looks like a fairly large deer walk through here. Pretty big prints. Cleaning a deer sign. Obviously plenty of feed on this slip thing. Onwards to Anchorage Cove. Go for a little wander along the beach. It's very flat just inside from the beach. That's a good club. So you've been a bit of erosion here. They look quite cool there. That's awesome. This one's the George River. Just a short little rain shower. Still kind of windy out there. Maybe 20 knots. Pure sunnies. I'll take those. Onwards to Bly Sound. This might be quite wet. Bit more than 15 knots, unfortunately. Not much shelter in here, quite a big swell coming in. That was a bit nasty, a bit more than 15 knots, probably more like 25 and really quite choppy on the nose, so very bumpy and lots of water over the side. But made it into Bly Sound, so I think I might go into the end of it and spend the night there. Probably about a 4 metre southwest swell as well. But I might just try to catch a fish before heading into the marine reserve, which is around the corner. just on the inside of the clear rocks marine reserve now. Oh, nice tarakihi. Nice. Oh, it's a big fat blue cod. Nice! Exactly what I was after. Awesome, can do a 3-species cook-up. Nice fat blue cod, tarakihi and a parrotfish. The parrotfish actually have very pretty spots on their fins. Found a tiny flat spot just at the end of Bly Sound, and it is high tide, so hopefully the boat's got enough water when the tide goes out. But that was so nasty, it was way worse than 15 knots. It was supposed to be, according to this whole map, but really not too wet at all, which is somewhat surprising given how much water went down my front. But it's supposed to be a bit of a storm tomorrow, so I got a bit of extra fish. Nice bowl of fish. It's a bit of tarakihi and a bit of blue cod, and that's the parrotfish. Nice, we've got the parrotfish, the tarakihi and the blue cod. But so good. I'd say the parrotfish and the blue cod would be basically indistinguishable from each other, but the blue cod is slightly nicer. And the tarakihi is kind of tough in comparison, or maybe it's slightly overcooked. But nonetheless, everything's very delicious. For some reason there's actually very low numbers of sandflies here, which has been awesome. I've managed to do a cook-up outside. But I reckon I'll call the episode there. It's been an awesome second week. Did lots of fishing, ate lots of fish, went up to the tops. That was really cool to see some Wapiti. In the next episode I'm going to try go into Sutherland Sound, so in a few days I'll head around there, and then there's a nasty bar at the start of it, so not very many boats go in there. It is a marine reserve, but it'll be still really cool to check it out. But thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like the video or even drop us a comment if you feel like it, because those things really help the channel out. And if you'd like to support me directly, you can become a member by clicking the join button, and that gives you early access to all of the videos and really helps me to come out here and create more content. Huge thanks to my current members, and I'll see you all in the next adventure. So you can see the entrance of, so you can see the, it's a bizarrely early and it's a bizarrely early start of, and it's a bit, so I've got two main objectives, because it's the start of summer, because it's now 4 o'clock, so I've got about an hour before I need to head back before and the field is well, I'm not going anywhere. I just said the Whitewater River. This is the Whitewater River. And it looks like I made the right choice with the and it looks like I made the right choice with the do it.